Hey everyone, thanks for watching. I'm going to do a video here on how to create some cables and wire groups and a couple of things that people run into. Redoing some of the ones that I have, so hopefully this is a bit more complete. So here we go. So in the E3, there are two things to be mindful of. When we talk about wires, we are talking about individual cores. And when we're talking about cables, we are talking about a multi-core cable. Case point is these. We've got cables. So any of these cables, for example, we'll have this one here is a 3-core cable. Otherwise, we've got wire groups down below. The wire groups contain specific, say, TXL. So this database says heap, but anyways, whatever the wire type is, then you've got the type and the specific color and things like that. Of course, it means that if we have a connection line, and then we come here and we choose our TXL black, cross section, color, and specific, and then we add to it, we're adding a single core to this, like this one. Otherwise, if I had, say, 3 cables, then find that cable, and click and drag and assign alter. So these are 3 individual cores. They all belong under this C1, core 1, core 2, and core 3. So how do we do it? Pretty easy. First thing is the Y groups. Y groups are probably, or rather, these are probably the 2 simplest things to do in E3. The first one, Y group, and the second one, the cables. But if we start with the Y group, go from there. So ideally speaking, you will find the Y groups and you will choose one that suits. But nevertheless, I'm going to go Tools, Start Database Editor, and go from scratch. Once your database editor has opened, you can right click on any folder and select new component. I'm going to choose wire group as my component type, and then you choose your specific. So the first one is the wire group name, TXL, etc. And then there's a couple of different approaches, but I'll show you what that means. I might just say this is going to be wire group name, say black, or rather say 18AWG. The rest is sort of normal stuff. I'm not going to waste too much time going through it, but what we really need is this part here. So we have the component name Y group AWG. So in this case, I'm just going to choose a specific core to be called black. It's going to have a cross section of 18 AWG, AWG 18, and the outer diameter, I can't remember, but whatever the outer diameter 18 AWG is, and then a color. Black, BLK, depending on your database configuration. The good thing about this is you can, you can copy paste. If I don't put it red, and I can say blue, etc. So pretty straightforward. You can hit next, save the database, and then I'm good to go. If you do need to, if you go component tab, you can actually right click and edit. You can always go to Y group, add wire. So if I wanted to add another one, which was going to be called press F2 to rename and say it was yellow. Same deal, cross section would be AWG 18, whatever the outer diameter is, and the color would be yellow. YEL. So you can also come here and in the drop down you can add certain attributes. for the wire specifically, if I select all of these and hit body, I can click on the drop down and I can add maximum voltage, things like power loss, specific resistance, wire weight. So if you do have certain modules, or if you want to run certain calculations and scripting, then you can have this stuff calculating based on set attributes of the wire that's assigned. So here's where you do it. Now, there is a situation where the sizes won't show up and the colors won't show up, and I'll explain how that works. So for this case, I'm going to hit Save to Database, and then if I go to my project for now, just to test exactly where it is, if I can draw a line, if I go down here, I'll have my new wire group, which I called something, wire group name. Sorry, so you click here, press F5 to refresh the database. Then I will have, once it's done thinking, I have my wire group name 1. So I have the 18 AWG, and if I click on the drop down, you can see I've got the different colors. That one I hadn't saved properly, but so if I go black and assign the wire to the connection line, now you can see I have a AWG 18. It's got 1.8 square mil. So the outer diameter is supposedly 1.57. The cross section 18 AWG. Again, this is the scale. You should have something looking a bit like this. And any other specifics, if I go connection properties, and then there was certain attributes of the wire, again, that would sit there for calculation and whatever else. So that being said, we have a situation, if I go right click and edit, if we just assume that it's supposed to be yellow. If I assume here that the outer diameter is supposed to be, it's a really thick, it's supposed to be 1.65, you can see it's not there. If I try and type it, it's going to jump either way. So how do I fix it? So just save this. So if you hit format, and then we go to, the wire cross sections, outer diameter, hose tube diameters. You can see here all the definitions as far as what size is what. Now E3 has specifics, it's not just open source. Specifically, we have, if you scroll down a little bit, you can see here the AWG 18. Now the AWG 18, it shows up like this in E3 when we choose it from the drop down, but the software does understand that it is a 0.823 square millimeters. So when I have a contactor or a connector or a pin, circuit breaker or something that says I can put a wire between a 0.8 and 1 square millimeters, then it will allow me to put an AWG 18. Or if I have a component that says I have a maximum cross section of AWG 18 and a minimum of 20, then it means that I can put a 0.8, I can put a 0.822, but not a 0.824. So having this definition here, it understands, and there are some stranger type, some of the thin sizes and stuff like that in here, but nevertheless, we want to add a new one. So we want to add a new outer diameter. It's going to be 1.65. I'm going to select outer diameter as my type. And then here I'm going to put 1.65 and then remember. So it shows up as 1.65. If you wanted to show something as 1.651, just be mindful here that you cannot have two of the same dimension. If I already had a 1.65, I can't have a second. But I could choose another outer diameter, and I could say this is my test size, just to show you how it looks and works, and then I can hit OK. So save to database. If I go now and edit, and then I select all of these under the outer diameter, so click on the drop down, you'll see my 1.65 and I have my test size. So I can choose that one and save the database pretty easily and simple. Second option is the color. If you go format and text, sorry, over here, Y colors host tube materials. In a similar way, we have all our colors that are defined in the database. Now, you will notice that in my case, I have changed the colors from BLK to BK, red to RD, all the way through to gold to GD, so the first and last letter. Um, Same as some of the trace ones, but if you wanted to change it back, you could simply come here and change it to black and then choose your display color and go from there. But if you scroll down to the bottom and you want to add a random color, you have to pick a new number. So 238 Y color, and it's going to be my new special Y color. And if I had, let's say, a power jump green, something like that to show up, then I can hit OK. So if I go here now and edit once again, you'll notice when I select my colors, the black shows up as BLK, or rather if I go over here to the black, you'll see, oops, so yeah, yep. But if I wanted to add a new wire, I could go here and say new color, and then if I click on the drop down, I can have my, I can't remember what I called it. It helps if I remembered. There we go, my new special wire color. And then again, I put the cross section. I might just do the same AWG 18, 1.65, save database. So if I go over here and then I just refresh my database, the new color, once I finish this thinking, the new color will be in the new drop down. Like so. I can add my new wire 1. And if I add it to this wire and I go to my segment diameter, I made a mistake, didn't I? The diameter is 0.89. Sorry, if I use this one, brother. Because if I add my new wire to this one, then if I hover over, you'll see the AWG 18.65, and then the if I right click and go to segment diameter, then you can see exactly what it looks like. When you do add, it's done it okay in this time actually. It's added the 1.65. You can see the color's not there. So all you need to do is right click and update configuration in project. When we make a change to the database, there are 3 levels. There's component, symbols, and configuration. So when we change the graphical things, it's symbol. Componentry is component, and then the last one is configuration. So by doing this one, when I hover over this line now, you'll actually see the Y color come up, and it says my special Y color. And otherwise, if I go my connection properties, you'll be able to see a special Y color over here. So the next thing, or the next step, is to create a cable. A cable is just as easy, if not easier. I can right click and select new component, and I'm going to choose cable, leave it blank, and again, just skipping through this, I can choose my number of cores and say it's going to be 4 cores. Hit finish. So from here, I can simply go and expand on the left hand side, right click and add shield. So I'm going to say everything shielded like that. And then I'm going to say that I've got a twisted pair and another twisted pair. So I can give a structure to my multi-core cables. So in this case, it's going to be shielded or 4 shielded, and then a twisted pair. But of course, I can shield within a shield if I wanted to add shield here and then add shield there. So saying there's 1 shield on the overall, and then each twisted pair is shielded individually. So from here, I can right click and go core assignment and give my names. It depends how you want to do it, 1, 2, 3, 4, but I could have, let's say brown, white. I'm just pressing F2 to rename, by the way, and then I've got blue, then blue, white. So hit OK. So these are the names that show up. So instead of showing up 1, 2, 3, 4, it will show up as the color. To do so, of course, it means that I need to go to component properties, and under cable cores, if I expand all my connectors out, all my structures out rather, I want everything to have a cross section of AWG22. Outer diameter is going to be something I'm going to guess again. Let's just say 0.889. And then we've got brown, white, blue, and blue, white. So relatively straightforward. The only variable here is we have an individual cross section, an individual outer diameter, but then we go over here and you'll notice there's an outer diameter for the full enclosure. So if I say this is going to be 6 mil, 6.0, hit OK, save. You'll notice here you can have core name changeable, means that you can change the name of the core in the project. But if I just hit OK and now save to database, if I go back to my project and press F5, once it's done thinking, I can scroll to the end. Just a bit. Y group name 18. If I expand this out, you can see the different colors. Where's my cable though? Oh, sorry, it will be okay. Component. What do they call it? New cable type 3. New cable type. Okay, so this one here, new cable type 3. If I expand it out, you can see shield, twisted pairs. So if I grab this and put it on a color here, if I right click and go to my segment diameter now, you can see the overall, that loose wire is going to be by itself, and then the overall 6 mil circle with individual core cores sitting in this. It also means if I added another one, I could go to my segment diameter and you can see it's going to look like this. So this is going to be the tightest possible bundle. The segment diameter is a pretty handy one to visualize what's going through and how. But again, just so you know, the other way to do it, and the other handy feature is if I just do I'll space them out just so it's more visible. But if I grab this now, release above, drag below, click, you'll see the 4 cores. We have our new cable type under 4, which is my device designation. And then I have the 2 twister pairs and 2 shields, but we're not showing, so the core number BR, BRBU, BRWH, BL, whatever, blue, blue. But we want to show the shields, twister pairs. I can actually click here and drag. I could potentially go to my miscellaneous and grab it from shield, drag over. But the easiest way, if I right click at the top, I can do auto place bundles, and it will place, actually let me control Z for a second. If I right click on the green and auto place bundles, it will place the symbols automatically. You'll see the twister pair symbols, the shield symbols. If I hit S for setting under placement, symbols, bundle symbols, let me just Control Z first, show you the difference. Under here, bundle symbols, you'll see which symbols it uses. Distance from the first pin, so I might want it 3 spaces across, and I might want them 100 mil apart to make it a bit better. And you can change the twisted pair symbols if you want to choose something that might be more relevant. And I'll use, let's say this one. So if I redo that, it might be a bit more style appropriate for my particular use. Use that one twisted pair symbols. Yeah, so that's bundles. Sure what I'm missing, but nevertheless, the functionality is there, so you can tweak it, change as much as you may or may not need. So yeah, hopefully that makes sense. If you have any questions or anything, let us know as always, and thanks for watching.